I'm Lee Pryor, and I live in Pensacola, Florida, and want to talk about how difficult it can be to be part of the working poor. Just give a little background on myself. I've been involved with a lot of labor activism and some social justice activism. I worked on the political legislative ends. And these types of issues, I have a personal interest in them, just like a lot of other people, and that's why I get passionate about these things in particular. The difficulties I've had is finding work that actually pays decently. Like right now, I work in the restaurant industry. I mean, I make a decent wage. I mean, by no means is it a living wage, but in this particular area in Pensacola, they have the top three industries, which, I'm only really eligible to work in one of those, which is, the food service industry. And those are normally not high paying jobs. So this area, it can be extremely difficult to find anything over $15 an hour, which I'm not making that at all. I'm getting closer to that, but it becomes very difficult. Because it's a heavily, tourist area. And again, it's, a lot of retail, a lot of food service, and that's, in my opinion, not a lot of opportunity for anybody at all to kind of advance and be able to live a pretty comfortable life. Another issue that I face as far as being in the working poor and the types of jobs I do have available to me here in this area is that they lack benefits. So I don't have any health insurance at this point in time. It is offered at the job I get, but it's not employee paid. Or it's not offered, in that sense, but you have to pay for it out of your own income, which, that can be very pricey, and being that, I'm below what would be considered a living wage, that's going to take too much from me to be able to actually pay for, any type of rent or utilities, things like that. So I got, numerous health issues, mostly physical. My knees are bad, my ankle's bad. My back is also bad. So the type of job I work, because I'm on my feet for anywhere in between 8 to 12 hours a day, it, can cause some major problems for me working. So I'm always exhausted, always in pain. And, part of that problem is I would like to be able to see a physician on that and resolve some of these issues so I can, work more efficiently at the jobs that I, am taking. But where I'm working right now, the employer only offers insurance that I have to pay for, or any other employee does, which it'd be better if it was, the employer paid for it, because that way I would, be able to take care of all these things and, be able to work up to speed, because I am, over 40, so it gets a little more difficult. I'm starting to feel the effects of age and all that. Let's talk about rent here. So with the income that I pull in, it can be, very, very stressful as far as rent goes. Right now I'm actually behind in rent. I pay week to week at a room I rent. It's, a lady's house that I basically found on Facebook Marketplace. And I'm just going to say it's not always the best to find roommates that way, because you can't really vet them, you don't know them that well, and you might hop into something you really aren't desiring too much. But other places I've looked at are just far too pricey. That's the thing, because they want you to make 3 times what the rent actually is, which means if it's, you're going to have to make at least $31,000 a year to rent, a trailer in the area. But another thing about it is if I do want to move out, because I have to pay week to week, it's extremely difficult to save up any money for me to actually come up with a deposit and take care of, getting any of the utilities and the power turned on at the place I'm going to live in, and then, get anything that, I absolutely need, like, say, internet access, which everybody in, modern society needs that. They need access to the internet, because, obviously I'm not trying to stay at the same job I'm at. I want to move forward and get something that pays better, something that I would actually rather do than what I'm doing right now. But, rent, it's an issue. Getting around town is pretty difficult also. I normally ride a bike everywhere, especially to work. I have to leave probably about an hour before I even need to get there, and it's a 45-minute ride for me. And I mean, or you'd have to take public transportation, which in this area, I mean, it's decent, but it's not the best. I mean, it actually stops, it runs 6 days a week, and it stops at about 7 o'clock in the evening. So I work mostly at night right now. So that option's off the table. Or, another option is taking, someone else's help on this one and getting a ride to work, which that can be costly itself, because I'm kind of in a position where I'm obligated to compensate for gas, everything like that. So most of the time I'm going to be taking my bike, which again leads to back to the health issues I was talking about. Hurts my knees, hurt my ankle, so I have to wear an ankle brace and all that. And I mean, the transportation, like with being in a situation like this, not making a lot of money and having that income coming in, I mean, no transportation with the Pensacola is like a 10-mile radius. I mean, it's not a big town, but it's spread out. So, and it's not all flat and it's hilly. So walking and taking a bike is gonna cause some stress on you. What can everyday people do about this particular situation to help other folks that are working and trying to get out of their situations, and to help them alleviate that? I mean, there's a couple things you could do. I mean, if you see homeless folks, you could always give them spare change, a couple dollars here and there. That's like a little band-aid that you're putting on it, because the problem's far deeper than that. I mean, you could always do the political legislative route, which fight for 15. That's what they're fighting for. They want to increase the minimum wage at the federal level to $15 an hour. And $15 an hour sounds like it's a lot. Put folks in another tax bracket, but at the end of the day, that's still not really a living wage. Living wage right now would be more like $22 an hour if it would have kept up with minimum wage since minimum wage was implemented. But those are some of the things, is just getting involved with these things, engaging in this process to make everything equal for everybody else, to where they can advance in this particular economy we have in the United States, and especially at the local level. It would do a lot of things. A lot of people would be able to participate in this market easier, be able to rent places, purchase their health insurance, and be able to live better lives.